A very warm welcome to everyone over here. I just wanted to confirm one thing. Is my screen visible to you? You can give a thumbs up. Thank you so much. So yeah, I welcome you all for the today's webinar that we have on AR and VR in education and how it is transforming the classrooms. So before starting with it, I just wanted to know that what are your ideas you have about the AR and VR? You can write it in the chat box. Anyone? What is the full form of AR and VR? Okay, let's go in detail about the AR and VR. Okay, I'm getting the response about the full form, that is augmented reality and the virtual reality. So here I just wanted to tell you that why immersive learning is an important in the 21st century. So as we all know that initially we were working with the notebooks and the books, we used to read and understand the things, which is also known as the traditional learning and a passive one. So here now what we are doing over here is basically the AR and the VR is giving an active learning and experiential learning to the students where we can actually teach them about the new topics, and it is more engaging and the complex topics are being resolved over here. So initially what used to happen with the traditional learning was we used to read it from the books and we try to understand, and multiple times we go through the imagination that how the things will be coming up and what could be the next. But here AR and VR is giving an experiential learning that what will happen next and how you can relate the things and how they actually look. So here the VR is the virtual reality. It is a technology that simulated the immersive learning over here, that is computer generated visual and the sound. That is an interactive one for the students to know that what is happening and how the things will happen. It allows the student to interact with the visuals and they can also get an idea. They can do the experiments by themselves and get the results. It is giving a 360-degree view where the student can actually see around themselves that what is happening and how the things look like. They can actually dive into the topic and they can study that how the whole blood flow is happening in the human body, or how does an animal cell look like. So if I see there are multiple topics and the multiple things where the student gets stuck due to the complexity of the topic and they are not able to understand the things, that how it will be on the next level and how they can understand, because multiple times the question has been asked that what is the functionality and how the things are working. So when it comes to the writing it down on the pen and paper, they get stuck. So here the importance of the virtual reality, if I talk about, is it is completely replacing the physical surrounding with the digital stimulation. That's why it is known as a 360-degree view, that how things look like. It also enhances the learning in the education by the interactive and immersive learning experience. So the student can actually understand the things because we understand that visualizing the things as more better way to understand rather than reading out from the books in a traditional way. Then, if we talk about the skill development and the training, so you might have seen that there are various sectors like medical, military, and industrial training that actually requires the hands-on experience, but due to the lack of the components or something. So what we are trying to do is, with the help of a VR, they can do the same thing multiple times and get the practice on it. So once they are being deployed to the industry or the military or in the medical sector, they already have the idea that how the things will work, and if there is another alternative way, then how it could be done. So virtual collaboration and a remote work. There are remote work have been everywhere across India and the globe, that how the teams are being coordinating with each other and how does a project look like. So this is the one part of a collaboration where the VR is being introduced. Then, if I talk about the healthcare and the therapies, so this is a very concerned part that many students or the many kids or even at the old age, the people are suffering from the diseases which they are not able to cope up with. So, with the help of the VR headset, which they are wearing and understanding the things, so here they can overcome about the phobia and the disorder which they are having. If I talk about the Parkinson's, this is the one disease which, okay, I hope that I'm audible now. Just please give me a thumbs up if I'm audible to everyone. Okay, yeah. So continuing this part, if I talk about the one disease that is the Parkinson's, actually what happened in that disease is that the human body, the brain and the muscles are not able to coordinate well. So here the VR could be introduced to the patients to just to know that how the things will actually working, and it could also be an encouraging for them to understand about the environment and how they can actually have the muscle activity so that the coordination could be done in a better way. Enhancing the shopping and a virtual tourism. So you might have experienced that if you go to the shopping mall or to the park over there, so multiple visual VR headsets are there where the children are enjoying the surroundings. So this is the one way for the enjoyment of the students, that how the roller coaster is going on or there's a sprinkling water that is coming over them. So this is completely based on the virtual reality. Now, any idea that how the VR could be helpful in the education sector? You can write down in the comment section. Educators, any idea that how VR could be helpful for the education sector? Okay, I got one response, that is game playing medical science virtual tour. They can feel it. Then we have the explaining universe, physics, geography, history, any other topics that you have, or as an educator you think that this is a complex topic and it could be really great if we have it in a VR and that the students can understand in a one go. They can feel how the things actually work from 360 degrees, internal body parts, how they work, better concepts understanding. Most confusing topic is the atomic structure. I can relate that the bio and the atomic structure topics are one of the things that how it could be explained and how the chemical bonds are being formed. In medical science, game experiential learning, hybridization, human and animal cell. Okay, so I can see that most of the topics that are coming over here is related to either universe or the human body, that how it could be done. Any other topic apart from the biology or the science we have? Flight simulation, aviation, architecture, engineering, digestive system, business studies, special education. Yes, we can definitely use for the special education, as we can see that every student is on a different level, and some challenged students are able to understand the concept through the VR devices or the headset that we're giving to them. Okay, so these are the topics which we have got from the educators, that what the complexity of the topic is, and the VR could solve it. So here, if I talk about the solar system, okay, the flight training is one of the part. Okay, if I talk about the solar system, what actually happen if we tell to the student? We say, okay, there's a sun, and which is the fastest planet, and you can say the ring planet, where is Earth located, and how much percentage of the water is there on Earth. Okay, see, all these things we can tell it to the students. They can recall it, they can write it down, they can study. But here, what if we provide a 360-degree view? You can even ask here, okay, if I talk about the Milky Way, how many such things are there in the universe? How you can see a comet, right? So all this thing could be explained to the student with the help of a VR. It's a very engaging part that could be explained to the students by actually traveling into the space and reading about the planets. The other one is, as educators told me about the biotopics, the one of the most complex topic, which I think is the human heart. How does it work? So if I talk about the human heart, so I can see in our image, it's a 2D image. I can see that, okay, this is a human heart. Which one is the red veins, and which one is the veins and the arteries and everything, and how does the blood flow? But what if I am giving the actual walkthrough to them, that how the things are working inside the heart? So that will be an experiential learning, as well as the students will be able to grasp the things, that how the things are actually working. Okay, I hope that my voice is clear. Just give a thumbs up if my voice is clear. Okay, yeah, thank you so much. So if I talk about the immersive and the interaction that we have in the VR, while using the VR headset, we can actually sense the things and we can interact with them. Teachers, if my voice is not clear, I'll just request you if you could reconnect, because many of the other teachers are able to hear me clearly. So here we are actually giving the experience. So now can you tell me that what is the difference between a 2D video and a VR learning, if you have any idea? Okay, 3D. Any other, what is the difference between the 2D and a VR learning part, and how it could be beneficial for the students? Any ideas? Okay, 360-degree view in VR. It gives feeling of reality. Any other answers or anything that you like to share? What is the difference between the 2D video that we see and what the content we see on the VR? What's the difference? Okay, so here I can see that the more inclination is about 3D. So if we talk about the like 2D videos or the content that we teach in the class. So what happened? As an educator, you go to the class, then we have a passive learning from the books or from the e-content that we have on the smart boards. We actually tell them, okay, you are in the video. 2D is imagination and 3D is experience. Yes. Okay, seeing versus experiencing. Yes, this is one of the things that we have. So what happened in the 2D? When we go to the class, there's a limited engagement and many times there's a distraction as well that many students are distracting the other students and they miss out the topic, right? So, and like all the things are going around them and they're having the same experience, that same smart board is there that have been explained, the videos are being played about the topic, and the memory retention is just 30 to 40%. And most of the time, what happens is that students goes on doing revision and revision and they get confused sometimes between the topics that which content was in a particular topic and they gulp everything and they mix up. Now, on the other hand, if we have the VR learning, that is the active learning where the distraction is less because every student is wearing a headset. Okay, every student with a headset, they can actually, as an individual, can interact and they can have the sensory feedback. So it is a simulation and a reality. So it is a distinct between that is actually blocking your physical world completely. So that increase the focus, the interaction, and gives you the experiential learning over here. And also, once they are going through the VR experience and where they actually see the things, their memory retention is from 70 to 80%. So here I'm getting a response that 2D focus on the clarity and the structure info where the VR promote to grasp the complex topic, and virtually things are more remember than image or a written thing. Yes, definitely. As an educator, you can also see that multiple students are just writing it down in the notebook and some are just listening and grasping all the things that you're teaching in the class. So on the one hand, I have the plant cell over here where you can see the image. So it's just a simple image where I can see that there's a green part where the cell is there, where mitochondria and everything. But on the other hand, if you see, so this is the image of the VR where the student can go nearby, they can zoom in, they can interact with it, they can actually see that how the things are being moving and what all the parts are there. So if you have any questions, you can write it in the chat box. Educators, if you have any questions, you can write it in the chat box. Okay, so I can see that there are no questions, so let's move forward. So this is about the VR, where the VR having the different, you can say the elements. One is the virtual world that we are already talking about. Then we have the immersive learning that is completely based on the presence and the display that you have. and that is also giving you the sound and the virtual thing, that how you can interact with the world. And if you click on that particular topic, it will automatically read out for you, and it will wait for you until you click on the next to know that what will be the next process or what is the next component that is being over there. So teachers, if you have any question about the VR, that what is the difference between the 2D video and the VR, you may ask. You can write it in a chat box. Okay, let's move further. So this is the 2D image that we have seen in the books, in the various grade books. We have seen this image. What we used to explain to the student is that this is the sun over here, and the nearest planet is the Mercury. And we used to ask the quiz from student that which is the nearest planet. Earth is also known as the blue planet. How many moons does the Earth have? Then why the Mars is known as the red planet? So these are the questions that we used to ask to make them understand about the solar system, which is the largest planet, which planet is known as the ring planet. Okay. So all these things have been asked in the class, and uh, but what used to happen, we never got to knew that how they actually look like, because this is just an image, right? But if I say we can go through this through a VR concept, so how the things will look like. So any idea that how it will be looking if I go through the VR experience about the solar system? You can write in a chat box. Okay, it was so realistic. Moving planets, how the day and night forms. Yes, we can explain this through the VR. Okay, I have one question, that we are talking about the solar system right now, right? What all things or what all topics that could be covered in the solar system? Can you please tell me? One is day and night formation. The other one is the spacewalk, the distance, axis movement, orbits, lunar and solar eclipse, galaxy, rotation. We can also go with the revolution, satellite, look and feel, how they look from one planet to another, distance and the variety and the various reality, size proportion, Milky Way. Yes. So there are multiple topics that can be covered by just one solar system. So instead of telling the topics individually, we can also have a walkthrough in a one go. If I am entering into the solar system, right, then how I can go nearby, how I can study about the Earth, how I can know that how the moon is revolving, okay, how the rotation is happening, why the sun is constant, right? All the planets are moving. So all these things could be done. So I'll just show you one video and you'll get an experience that how the things are actually working. So I hope my screen is visible. If I talk about the 360-degree view, so this is how I can actually see. I'll just pause it over here. So you can go near to the planet. So you can pause it over here. You can ask that what all planets are revolving over here. You can see the Earth, the Mars, and the Jupiter. You can also see that how the sun is constant over here. So this is the one way of explaining that how the solar system look like. So any questions? So any questions from the AR which you have? Okay, I have one question that how we can design the AR VR. Okay, I'll just take this question at the last because we have this in upcoming slides. So any question about the VR or any particular topic that you want me to explain that how VR could be helpful for making the students understand about the complex topics? Okay, I got one question. Can we make normal syllabus in VR? Sir, could you please tell me a few topics that which all topics that you want should be there in VR? Or any particular grade that requires that more content for the VR should be there so that the students will be able to understand the things in much better way. Okay, any poem or a story for kids? Okay. Or any other topic that could be related to particularly that have been given by the NCRT or the CBSE or ICSE board that you want that should be there in the VR as a content? Or as an educator, you feel that this topic is pretty much difficult to make the student understand? Would you like to mention any such topics? Okay, I got one, coding. Then we have separation of techniques in science, grade 6. Separation of substances. Okay. Okay, so ma'am, like it is a complete process if you feel like creating the VR content by yourself, and it might, a little bit challenging because it requires lots and lots of research work as well as the coding part that how it could be explained. to the students. The other topic I got is reversible or irreversible changes. Okay, any other topic? Light and shadow. Ma'am, may I know for which particular grade you are looking for? Okay, grade 6. Okay, so now let's move to AR. So can you tell me that how AR could be useful for the students? Anyone, how AR could be useful in the education sector or how it would be helpful for the students? You can write in a chat box. Critical thinking, gravity, educational gaming, knowing the distance of a real object, okay, project-based learning. So if I say, okay, like if we talk about the reactions in chemistry, okay, as you're giving me the more topics to tell about the VR thing. So what we can do is in the AR and VR, what is the difference? Basically, that AR is something that is within the real world, the real environment which we have, but it also have an overlaying of the digital elements. It could be image, animation, sound, or the text. But with the help of VR, you can actually perform the chemistry activities. Now, if I say, okay, like sodium is one component that reacts with water, but you cannot physically perform this in a chemistry lab and know that what will be the reaction or how much fire it's gonna catch. Okay, so with the help of a VR, you just need to wear the headset and you can perform the activity and you can know that what the results will be. Okay, this is the one part. Now, if I talk about the augmented reality, that how the things are being coming up over here, the very first thing is this is the overlaying digital technology that the computer generates the image. Okay, it provides us with the 3D model. You just need to scan and it will automatically provide the 3D image which you can rotate and see that how the things are there. It doesn't create a complete artificial environment. Okay, it's not like it is completely creating an artificial environment as we had in a VR. So instead of enriching the content, we have a blend of a virtual content that seamlessly we can see in a physical world. It is actually, you can see, if I explain, it will be just popping out with the image into the 3D. You can increase and decrease the size and you can understand that how the things are happening. Now, it's a bridge between the digital world and a physical world, right? So it might be a distraction for the students or the user to experience that how the computer generates the content immediately coming out of the environment. It is an important part over here because as I told that it is a bridge, so it is having the integration that how the things are actually working and how you can learn the things. Now it also improves the learning and a like training part because we are actually having the 3D models, a simulation and a real-time scenario as well that increase the memory of a student of any person to understand the things that how the things have been working or what is coming up the next or what is a complete process. Okay, Now, the other one is enhancing the user experience. It is an engaging way to make the student understand about the visual things. Yes, one of the example is holographic images that we generally see these days in the concert and even at the shows that we are having around the city. So any other thing you would like to know about the AR or anything that you have seen but you fail to recognize, but through this content you'll be able to understand that you have seen the AR. Would you like to please tell? You can write it in a chat box. Any examples you have in your mind? Educators, you can write it in a chat box. Any application which you have used, which is using the AI technology over here. Yes, Snapchat filters. Okay, it helps in recognizing the different plants in the garden. Some more examples, please. Okay, let's move further. The camera filters, okay. Snapchat, Pokemon Go. Now, if I talk about that, how AR is there in the education. So can you tell me few topics that will be really helpful for the students to understand? Virtual tour through AR. It helps in map to know the street name, navigators. Okay, if I particularly talk about the education sector, then we have the visualizing skills. So this is the one thing that is making easy for us, like as we understood that there are few complex topics and abstract that requires lots and lots of energy to explain it to the students, and sometimes that are happening multiple times because they're not able to understand. So with the help of AR, they can pause, they can understand the things. So this is a real life transition as well. Then if I talk about the real time interaction, so it can actually, students can actually manipulate the virtual object. They can, as I told, they can pause, they can rotate and see the things. So all they need is just a one phone. Okay. With the help of one phone, they are able to see the AR thing. Accessibility is it is more engaging. The student can go anywhere and study about the different topics. Then, if I talk about the contextual learning, it is more of information at a right place at once. Like, let's take an example. What happened if a student wants to know more about a particular topic? So they go to Chat GPT or they go to Google to understand the things. But if I say through a AR, you just need to open an app and right at one place at one particular time, you are getting everything from knowing that what the diagram is, how does it work, what is the functionality, and where it is being located in a human body or animal body, each and everything has been there. So this is one of, you can say, the time saving for the students. Now, the most important thing about the AR is, if I talk about the science, as ma'am told that the molecular structure, okay, atomic structure is one of the difficult topic that could be, AR and VR can make easy for us to make the students understand about the topic. So here the science could be taken like, and autonomy is there. then planets, molecule, how they are making the bonds. Okay, so this is the one topic that we have in the science. Then talking about the maths, how the 3D shapes. Okay, if we talk about the 3D shape, let's talk about the cube. So they can actually rotate the cuboid they can rotate, and they can see that how many faces are there, what is the size, how many similarities are there, what is the angle. So they can increase and decrease the size, and they can study in detail. This is the one active learning part which is there in the AR. If I say, ki, let's suppose if I switch to passive learning, what used to happen? We just used to show, okay, and then we used to try to find out that cuboid or cube shape. We try to show them the Rubik, like how does it look like, okay. But here it is a time saver as we can directly show the things through AR. Now, talking about the history, the experiential learning is over here is like if I want to tell the student about the Harappa civilization, or let's talk about the Aravalli Hills, that from where to where the range is going, or talking about the Himalayas. Okay, through the 3D images and the visualization, they can actually see, okay, how does the Mount Everest look like, or how does the K2 look like? They can actually make the difference and see. Talking about the geography, so how the map being placed, what are, you can say, the soils are found, how the mountains were formed, they can actually see and know the difference. So any questions till now? You may please write in the chat box. Teachers, any questions that you have? And the best part over here is if I talk about AI, you can have the application in your phone. You can make your own application of AI, and you can tell to the students, okay, this is the thing and how it is looking. Like, let's talk about the human eye. How does the eyeball look like? Where's the cornea is there? The people is there? Everything. So any questions, teachers? Okay, moving on to further. So can you tell me that what will be the difference between the VR and the AR? So before looking to the example, anything, drawing any figures of science and practical workshops, any other thing? What is the difference between AR and VR? Okay, so I can see that there's a one answer. AR, we can interact, and VR, we experience reality. Okay, so let me show you one example of AR, but before that, I want to know that how many teachers think that explaining a human heart is one of the complex topic. Raise your hand if you feel that explaining a human heart is one of the complex topic that you are facing. Okay, let's see one example over here. I'll just directly show you one of the example that I have. So I hope my screen is visible to everyone.
Organelles are the specialized parts of a cell that have unique jobs to perform.
So like here, we talk about the nucleus, right? So we are actually diving it and see that how the experience look like. You can see about the cell.
Let's start with the nucleus, the control
Okay,
center of the cell.
so I can see each
The
and
nucleus
everything.
contains
Then what
DNA,
is
or
inside
genetic
the
material.
nucleus? The nucleus and the DNA. That is the
The
genetic
nucleus
material that
also
we have.
contains a nucleolus, which is a structure where ribosomes are made. Ribosomes
So here the ribosomes are explained that how they are moving from one point
may
to
wander
another.
freely within the cytoplasm or attach to the endoplasmic reticulum, sometimes abbreviated as ER. Proteins and other materials emerge from the endoplasmic reticulum in small vesicles, where the Golgi apparatus, sometimes called the Golgi body, receives them. The mitochondrion is an organelle that is the powerhouse for.
So this is the
If you're
one part.
17 or 18 right now,
So this is the one part where we can explain about the things that why mitochondria is known as the powerhouse of the cell, right? So instead of just drawing and making it to explain that this is the mitochondria and this is the main part of the cell that is being responsible for everything, we can actually tell them. The other one here, I would like to tell you about the VR. So we have a how it is being scanned. Okay, here you have the notebook. You have the book over here where the model of the heart is being given in a 2D image. So from the app, you just need to scan it. Okay, if you just, just take a place, scan it like this, and the image will be coming in front of you as a 3D image. So let's see that how it come out of the book. So here you can see that the heart is actually pumping, and you can see that all the things have been given over here. The dissection of the heart is there, and it is also telling that where is the right atrium, then the right vertical is there, which is the left part and the right part, and it will also be explaining that how the deoxygenated blood is going back to the lungs, and this process is known as the pulmonary circulation, and how the oxygenated blood is coming back to the heart, and the heart is pumping and the circulation is going through the whole body. Sure, I'll just provide you with the names at the end of the session, that from where you can find such things and how you can do it. So this is the one way of explaining the things. You can actually say, okay, go to the home, you can just scan the things and this will be coming in such a way. So I'll just show you the complete video. So you can actually see that how it is pumping, then how, the pulmonary veins are being going over here, then arteries are there, and how the blood is being pumped. So it is giving a complete structure of a human heart, and it's working as well. So you can see that this is the way that the things could be explained to the student through AR. And even while the studying, the students can pause and understand the things. So here I have some more examples. So I'll just tell you that how the Pokemon Go game was being invented, and it got so famous, amongst the teenagers, and how it is using
Pokemon
the
Go is
AR
getting a new
over here.
AR plus mode, and it makes the game's augmented reality a bit more, well, real. Nancy
So this was the one game where it was using the Google Map and telling you that where the Pikachu is there,
First
and
mentioned this off within a few
so this game was completely based on the AR that created a
days.
craze among
In the
the
new AR Plus mode, Pokemon have a better
youngsters.
sense of where they
So
are
they
relative to the
they
real
were
world.
moving
As you get
out and
closer, they're going to
actually
get bigger.
catching
You can
these
sneak around them,
Pokemons.
or you can get up really close. Getting closer makes it a bit easier to get those great or excellent throws with your Pokeball, but if you move too fast, the Pokemon are going to get scared and they're going to bolt off. If you can get close
So it was completely like you have to go near the Pokemon and collect it.
enough without spooking them, Expert Handler mode kicks in, giving you a small catch rate bonus along with some extra XP and Stardust at the end.
And it was also telling the actual score that how much you have earned it and where is the next Pokemon. This is the one feature that we have over here. Then the very next one, if I talk about, is getting very famous these days, is the IKEA. That if you have the space at your home, then how you can actually see the furniture through the app, and you can have the AR over here,
Everyone to know
and
about the
how you
Place,
can
our
place
new
it, how it
augmented
will look
reality
like,
app.
whether
Built on
it could be
Apple's
your
new AR
dining
kit,
table
you can
or
easily place
any space.
2 to scale 3D models of IKEA furniture in your place.
So this is actually a time saver.
Scan,
So what actually happening over here is you just need to have a space, take out the camera, turn on the app for the IKEA. You just need to set the boundaries. Okay, this is your space. Just click it over there, and it will just detect that how much space you have and what all items you can place, what all articles you can place in that particular space.
browse, select, move, and place. So that could mean less of this.
So this was completely surprising for everyone. Like most of the time, what happened is you go through so many things, you bought your favorite things over there, but you don't have a space, okay, and the measuring tape. So here you can actually see in the reality that how things will look like at your place and what suits you well, whether it could be your living space or matching with your wallpaper.
And less of this. And probably more of this.
And people are actually enjoying
We
it,
want to
that
make it
how
easier for people
from city
everywhere
life they
to
can
imagine a
actually
better place.
just open the app and
Share
see
this place
how the things will look like.
and this place.
So this was the one example that we have for the IKEA. And if I talk about, like, many teachers will be asking that what popular tools that we are using for the AR and the VR. So here we have for the AR, the very famous one is the Google Lens that we fail to recognize, but everywhere we are using it to make our work easier. And the other one is the merge cube, where you just need to scan the cube and you will see the multiple things that have been over there and you can learn through it. Then talking about the VR is the Google Expedition that we have and the Class VR. So I'm just pausing for a few seconds on this slide. So if you want to write the names, you can have it. Teachers, if you have any questions, you may ask. If you have any question about the AR or VR, just please write it down in the chat box. Okay, moving on to the next one. So this is the difference between the AR and VR that I've been asking for. So if I check about the environment, then AR is completely focusing on the real and the digital world that we have. So we can actually see that, how it has been overlaying the things. But if I talk about the VR, it is fully virtual and it is completely concentrating on the environment that we create around us. So there's less distraction. The devices that we require for the AR is, as I told you, we require the mobile phone or the tablet, which has a good camera to scan things and to let you know about that, how it could be explained or anything. Now, if I talk about the VR, we have a complete headset that is completely giving you a packed environment and a 360-degree view where you can actually turn around and see where the things are kept, how you can pick them up, how you can perform the experiment while in the chemistry lab or even the physics lab from where if you're having the optical ray, how need to set the light, how much the distance has been there, how to do the prism activity and everything. The AR cost is lower because mobile phone and tablets we are already having. But if I talk about the VR, we completely require the headset. The use case is one is based on the visualization, the other one is on the stimulation. Stimulation, sorry. Any questions? Okay, teachers, do you have any questions? Okay, so how you can create your simple AR? Many teachers have asked that what all applications are there through which they can create the AR, while you can create it on cloud as well. But here on the screen, you can see that there are few tools that are being used to create a simple AR. So Zapwork is there, assembler is there. You can use it and you can actually tell that what all are your requirements. But before that, you need to choose the content. Then you need to upload the assets, that what all the things are there, what all the images are there, add the interaction, what all the things you've been requiring to interact with the person when they open the app, things should be visible. Then you can publish and share with the students. So this is the certificate program. Over to you, Neha.
Okay, hi everyone. Am I audible? Hello.
Yes, Neha, you are audible.
Okay, great. Hello, educators. I hope you guys are doing very well over here. And I hope that you liked our today's webinar, which was very interesting. Thank you, Rupali. And yes, AR VR was a very good topic to discuss, right, today. Yes. So we will be coming back with the exciting topics again. So again, I'm going to tell you about the Certified STEM Educator program of ours. And I have already told you in the previous webinars. So if you like our program, you can definitely come for the free demo, at least come and am I audible? Okay.
Yes, Neha, you are
Yes.
audible.
Okay. It was glitching from my side. Okay. So yes, I was saying that at least go for the form which I'm sharing in the chat box, and you can just fill this form and you can take a free demo or just have a chat with our associates, and you will get to know that how our modules are going to work, because the objective of certified STEM educator program is to train the educators and making sure that they are also not only the students, the educators are also developing their 21st century skills, right? So training towards your ATL lab, building the competencies, making the project oriented, right? understanding how the STEM field is actually aligned with NEP 2020. So we are here to support you educators to become certified, because STEM is now the future, right? So I have already shared you the link for CSEP program. It's just that you have to fill the form, and you can connect with us, whoever is interested. Okay. And as I always say, please come up with the good topics, and we will be here sitting and covering those topics. And I'm open to discuss all the topics. Okay. Thank you so much. In just 10 seconds, I'm sharing the certificate link also. And by in 3-4 days, by 8th of March, you will get the certificates as well. Okay, just give me 1 second. I'm sharing it again.
Okay, by the time Neha is sharing the forms, so I'll just request you, if you still have few doubts or anything, any questions, so you can write in the chat box.
Okay, so I have shared the details over here for CSEP as well as the certificate for today's webinar. Okay, hand over to you, Rupali, to conclude it. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so this is all about the AR and VR. So there are upcoming technologies as well, that is MR. So you can explore about that, how the mixed reality is coming to the next one, and how you can actually see the things. This is the hybrid technology that is, you can say, that is blending the physical and the digital world, allowing the things to see that how they actually look like, and how you can react and you can interact with the real-time things. So thank you so much. Thank you everyone for joining the session. I hope that you enjoyed it. And as Neha told, if you have some few topics that have been upcoming in your mind, you can share with us. Thank you so much. Thank you everyone for joining the session. Have a great day. Ma'am, you can copy this link and just paste it in the Google Chrome, and the password has been already provided to you, so it will be an easy one. Thank you everyone for joining the session.